Hello, this is Ball Racing with a top 10 countdown of the best winless drivers to appear in F1. Starting off with number 10, Jackie Oliver, whose best career results were two third places at the 1968 Mexican Grand Prix and the 1973 Canadian Grand Prix. Jackie Oliver made his got his full-time debut in Formula 1 as Jim Clark's replacement after the Scots' tragic death in Formula 2, where despite some sterling performances by Jackie Oliver, he lacked the consistency and was forced to move on to BRM in spite of nearly winning the British Grand Prix in 1968, where eventually he would find himself out of a full-time ride until 73, where of course the mysterious safety car messed up his second chance of winning a Grand Prix. In number 9, it is Mike Hailwood. Former motorcycle champion Mike Hailwood also had a Grand Prix career. For any motorcycling fans who didn't know, in his time in F1 he had a few rides back in the mid-60s with Reg Parnell Racing, driving a Lotus 24 and then a 25. However, this was very, very unsuccessful, meaning that it was only until 1972 when he made a real stab at Formula 1 that he started to have some success, with a best result of second at the 1972 Italian Grand Prix with 30s, and then later he moved on to McLaren for 1974, where he picked up a third place finish at the South African Grand Prix. Tragically, Hailwood died in a lorry accident a few years later. At number 8, it is Stefano Modena. His sensational 1987 Formula 3000 season, where he dominated the series in his first attempt, saw him have a one-off drive at Brabham for the 1987 Australian Grand Prix. However, he was forced to pull out with neck and back spasms, and unfortunately his lack of fitness would cost him any real attention from the top teams. He drove for Europe Run, and then he returned again to Brabham, where he picked up his first podium finish at Monaco. However, the following season were both covered with retirements and mechanical failures. In 1991, he got his big break with Tyrrell. However, they were using overweight Honda engines, meaning he could only get a second place at Canada and was in second at Monaco. However, the car broke down, and then he did one more year with Jordan. However, his career would soon end. At number 7, it is Derek Warwick. Ex-British Formula 3 champion Warwick made his debut with Tolman in 1981, where a difficult overweight car meant he struggled for 3 years with constant failures to qualify, and it was only until Renault were impressed with his late run form in 1983 that he got his big break. However, the car was uncompetitive and would continue to be so until the end of 1985, where he picked up 4 podiums, meaning he moved to Brabham after D'Angelo's death, then went to Arrows, where he nearly won 2 races in Brazil and Canada in 1989. However, a move to Lotus meant he went back to sports cars afterwards until Warwick returned to Formula 1 for one more year with footwork. However, it was another disastrous year, meaning Warwick ended his career without a win. At number 6, of course, it is the late great Jules Bianchi, who was part of the Ferrari Academy program, had a few Friday outings with Force India, along with winning races in GP2 and Formula Renault 3.5 World Series. At the start of 2013, Luis Raja was penciled in to drive for Marussia along with Max Chilton. However, Razia's money never turned up, meaning Bianchi had his golden opportunity to finally impress in Formula 1. His great day came in at Monaco 2014, scoring Marussia's first ever points. However, tragically, of course, as we all know what happened in Japan, Jules Bianchi was fatally injured, and the 9 months he spent in hospital meant he he eventually succumbed to his injuries. R.I.P. At number 5, it is Stefan Bellof, who was an absolute speed demon. Allegedly, he was Michael Schumacher's childhood idol. He broke the lap record at the Nürburgring Nordschleife circuit in his Porsche Group C sports car, and he also gradually improved in his time in Formula 2, meaning that for 1984 he became Martin Brundle's teammate at Tyrrell, where many will remember him well for his third place finish at the 1984 Monaco Grand Prix, where he had been catching Prost and Senna in his naturally aspirated Ford DFV engine car. However, he was later disqualified because of the lead ball controversy. Sadly, in 1985 he would suffer his tragic fate at Spa after a massive crash. At number 4, it is Welsh talent Tom Pryce, who drove for Shadow in the mid-70s with a few podium finishes when his car was able to last the distance. Tom Pryce was well known for his performances in the wet, having a habit of having been the fastest in wet sessions, and picked up his only pole position at the 1975 British Grand Prix. He picked up his first career podium at Austria 2 races later, and then picked up another podium at the season opening 1976 Brazilian Grand Prix. However, sadly, he at the 1977 South Africa Grand Prix, a marshal named Jansen van Joren ran across the track and Tom Pryce hit him, and he had no chance of surviving. At number 3, John Behra is the third on his acclaimed list. John Behra was a severely overweight driver who weighed 13 stone. However, he was a regular winner in the non-championship Grand Prix events, and he drove for Gordini, Maserati, BRM and Ferrari, as well as doing sports car races for Porsche and various other outfits, and did races such as Le Mans and the Mini Maliga. How tragically he would be killed for Porsche in a wet sports car race at the notorious Avos circuit, and he was thrown from his car and he died of a skull fracture. He drove for Maserati and picked up 9 podiums. However, he was overshadowed by Fangio. At number 2, it is Thailand's only official F1 driver, Prince Bira, who never actually appeared on the podium. However, he did drive for Maserati Gordini Cunnell, where his best career finishes were 4th place at the 1950 Swiss Grand Prix and the 1954 French Grand Prix. He did win at least 2 non-championship Grand Prix, however, but as time went, his age and outside interest would eventually interrupt his Grand Prix career, and he was found in a train station when he died in 1985 as a big surprise, as he had disappeared in his final years. And at number 1, it is none other than Chris Amon, a man who had driven for at least 15 or 16 teams in his career. He was very much something of a traveller, as his severe bad luck meant he would always try and find another team to drive for, despite the fact that, in spite of picking up 11 podiums, he often had a habit of leaving teams at the wrong moment, just as they were becoming big, such as Ferrari when they were about to give Jackie Hicks a winning car, March when, well, they were giving semi-decent cars, and then he even had a go at driving for Tyrrell at the end of 1973, only to go on to make his own team just as they were continuing their success. And in total, Amon led almost 183 laps.